economy, they're usually talking about the broad macro economy. They're talking about, millions of people, economic indicators, stock markets, all that other stuff, job markets and everything else. And basically what I figured out, and I thought about this because I was trying to figure out how to help, those of you who don't necessarily have, access to capital, or don't necessarily have the ability to, get or create the jobs that you might seek. So I said, what does it really take to have an economy? So I figured out that an economy basically has three key elements, and they all start with the letter C. An economy consists of the market for capital, the market for contractors, and the market for customers. The market for capital is basically the market that allows you to get the capital that you need to get the business off the ground. So in a market, every market has two sides. Every market's like a seesaw. You have one person on one side. When they go down, the other side goes up. When they go up, the other side goes down. They balance each other out, right? And you can't, a seesaw doesn't work if you only have one person on one side of the seesaw and nobody on the other one. Or if one person on one side of the seesaw is really big and the other person on the other side is really thin, that seesaw is not going to work. So you have to have a balancing effect. So the market for capital, on one side of the seesaw are the people that need capital for their investments. They have great ideas and they're willing to, share future cash flow, but they don't have capital. So they go to somebody who has money sitting around in the bank that they want to deploy. They want their money to earn a higher interest rate than it's getting from their savings account. So they're looking for a place to invest. So you have people that provide the capital and people that you can deploy and utilize the capital. Everybody wins, because if I've got this money sitting here, I'm looking for a return on investment. And you may be looking for the capital you need to get your business idea off the ground. So it becomes a love affair when those two groups come together. The reason you don't have good capital markets in the Black community is because you have an imbalanced seesaw. The imbalanced seesaw is basically one where you've got all the people on this side who need capital, but nobody on this side providing the capital, right? Nobody who feels, like they want to invest, right? So that's why, one of the goals I always had, as a public finance professor, was to convince the Black community of the importance of investing their wealth, right? So that we could have, big fundraising efforts in the community to allow us to get the capital we needed to build the businesses that we deserve, right? So the second market is the market for contractors. The market for contractors is basically the labor market. That's the market of job seekers and job creators. You have people that need a job and people that can create a job, who need people to work for them, right? And so in our community, the problem that we have is that our seesaw is off balance. We have a ton of people looking for jobs, but very few people creating jobs. Like, so if I go out into the Black community and I say, hey, we have a job posting within the Black Business School, we're looking for somebody who can do blah, 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 blah. I'll get over 100 and something applicants within a day. Like, every time we post a job, we get a ton of applicants, like just unbelievable number. Now, if I was to put out something else that says, hey, I have a person who's looking for a job, does anybody have a company that's hiring? I'm not going to get the same number of responses. I might get people that have leads on jobs. They might say, my boss is hiring, or the company I work for is hiring, but you don't have a lot of potential employers stepping up saying, I'm hiring. I can pay somebody $50,000 a year to do this particular job. So one of the things that the Black community needs also in our community is we need job creators. So we need to have about 1 million people. We need to plant this seed. It's going to take about a generation to do this. We need to have at least 1 million children who are trained on building businesses, because these are going to be the job creators of the future that will solve the Black unemployment problem. So that's the second market, the labor market, the market for contractors. The third market is the market for customers. On the market for customers, you've got basically two sides. You got buyers and sellers, consumers and producers. Now, why is that market all balanced for Black people? Well, because we have a ton of people that are trained to be consumers that love to consume. They love to spend money like crazy, but you don't have a lot of Black people that are able to produce something, right? We weren't trained. You didn't grow up with a parent telling you, oh, you've got to be a producer. A lot of you grew up with parents, though, they can teach you all day about how to go buy stuff, how to buy a nice new Gucci purse or a pair of shoes or whatever, right? Or a new car, right? So ultimately, so basically, when you talk about what Black people need to build an economy, it comes down to our ability to understand that seesaw and to balance that seesaw so that we're not forced to go to other communities to help us balance that seesaw. Like, so for example, in that first market I mentioned to you guys when I was telling you that you needed a market for capital, well, Black folks don't provide capital to each other. So where do we go get capital? we go to other communities, right? So then next thing you know, they own our assets. They gentrify our neighborhoods because they're providing the capital to buy our homes. We become the renters, or they are, they end up owning the black businesses because they provide the capital that the business needed in order to run. So you end up giving up a piece of that business, right? The market for contractors. Well, we're all the job seekers, but we're not producing those jobs. So most of us end up working for other people, right? The third market for customers. Well, if most of us are consumers and none of us are producers, then you're going to see a lot of black people buying from white people as opposed to buying from each other. So what I'm saying is that the key mission for our community in this generation is that we must balance that seesaw. If we balance that seesaw, then we'll be fine. Now, the cool thing about the seesaw method, when you talk about building an economy, the market for capital, the market for contractors, and the market for customers, is that you can actually build an economy in your own family. I've seen this done this way. I've seen it done. I've seen a group of about 8 people where they have the 3 markets that they need, where they form a collective ecosystem where they don't have to go outside of that system to get hardly anything that they need. When they need capital, they go to the family, and the family has an endowment, a family bank. The last lecture I'm going to do for you guys is how to build your own family bank. So they go to maybe the patriarch or the matriarch of the family. They say, Godfather, or Big Mama, I need $5,000 to start a business, and Big Mama gets them that $5,000, but you got to cut in the family on the profits of the business that you're building. But the reward for you is that you get to quit your job and focus on building your dream, because now you've got a bank loan, instead of it coming from Bank of America, it's coming from the Bank of Black people, right? The BABs, right? The Bank of Black people is supporting you as opposed to somebody else. Why is that important? Well, because power comes down to who's providing your money. Actually, if you want to see a good example of this, go watch this show. It's a show on Showtime called The Loudest Voice, and it's about how Fox News and Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly got taken down when they had a whole Me Too episode within Fox News. And I watched this, and it was really interesting. I was really surprised that Fox News, they didn't get really taken down entirely, but they got cleaned out. Like, they really got cleaned out big time, over some major lawsuits and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting, because Fox is a conservative network. They usually don't respond. Like, they don't have that kind of thing going on in terms of them, sort of caving to that sort of pressure. Well, the reason that they caved is because Fox News had a strong ideological position on what they believe. But the problem is that they were getting their money from shareholders in the general public and Rupert Murdoch, who lived in another country. Rupert Murdoch was pretty apolitical. Rupert Murdoch did not care about whether you were conservative or liberal, it seemed. All he cared about is that you were making money. So when Bill O'Reilly or Roger Ailes started having problems, Roger Ailes was the president of Fox. He pretty much built Fox. Good or bad. I'm not saying that you should like Fox or dislike them. I'm just giving you an example. When Roger Ailes built Fox up, he's angry. He's like, why are you caving into these liberals? Why are you caving into these liberals? Well, because the shareholders are like, we don't care about the politics. We're not doing this out of principle. We're doing this out of money. And so we're going to make the decision that works best for us. And at the end of the day, the person that provides the capital has the decision-making power in a lot of these business transactions. So that's why a lot of Black folks don't feel free, is because the person that's funding what it is you want to do has a different, worldview than you do. That's why, you have a lot of Black shows that Black people love, like what was it? A Different World. I've talked to you guys about that, where Black people are like, yeah, we want to bring A Different World back to TV. That's a Black show. That's a Black show. No, it's not. A Different World is not back on TV, not because the actors don't want to bring it on. My friend Ron Bell, who I brought to you guys, I brought him in the Black Business School before. He was the guy that played Daryl on A Different World. He played Dwayne Wayne's best friend, or Ron. And Daryl said all of us are on board, like Jasmine, Kadeem, everybody wants to bring it back, but they can't because Warner Brothers won't allow it. Warner Brothers is like, well, we got it in there on the shelf somewhere, but we ain't gonna let y'all have it, right? So ultimately, you got to think about ownership and who's providing the capital if you want to know who's actually got the power, right? So same thing is true with the other markets. Whether you talk about labor market, same thing. We're all seeking the jobs, and they're controlling the jobs. So when we want opportunity, we go to church and we pray for more opportunity. We hope that Jesus will give us, more income or whatever. Well, your Jesus really is that guy who's employing you. Like that's your God. because that's the one that decides if you get opportunities or not. But if you really want to become your own economic god, then you learn where those opportunities come from. If he's given me an opportunity, he had to get it from somewhere. Well, where did he get it from? Well, I'll tell you where he got it from. He got it from the fact that somebody provided capital that allowed him to become a job creator, which allowed him to create opportunities for other people. So don't train your children to be to find opportunities. Train your children to learn how to create opportunities. Also, don't train them to want to be leaders or kings or whatever. Go beyond that. Teach them how to be a king maker. Right? If you're a king maker, then you've got more power than a king can ever have. Right? So anyway, so I've seen families that are like that, where if they need capital for a business, they go right to the family. The family can provide the capital that they need. If they need contractors, they look in their circle and they say, okay, I need somebody who can do this job. Do you want to do it? Somebody in the family says, yeah, I'll do it. And I need an accountant. Is anybody in the family is an accountant? Well, yeah, cousin so-and-so is good with accounting. So you're hiring people in your own family. Asian people do this very, very well. And then the last part, customers. Okay, we need customers for a business. If you want to build $1 million business, all you got to do is find a customer who needs something, provide it for them, and let them give you their money. That's how you become a millionaire. It's not that hard once you figure it out. So ultimately, you need customers. Well, you can go to the family for customers. If you're in a family where there's already several operating businesses that have customers, that have money in their pocket, that have things that they need, all you have to do is create an asset, create a business, a financial asset that is what is called properly correlated with the pre-existing portfolio. In portfolio theory, something we learned in finance, this is something that we teach and learn and all this other stuff. One of the factors that determines what your next move is in terms of investing, one of the biggest factors is how does this new investment fit with the investments that you already have? So if let's say I've got a coffee shop and a donut shop next to the coffee shop and a flower shop where people, they come in, they can get coffee and flowers and donuts or whatever at the same time, then maybe I figure out like what kind of business I want next. And I mean, it would be hard to start like a football team, which would be completely disconnected, right? Because you're starting with a whole new base. Instead, maybe I can start I don't know, a hot dog stand next to the coffee shop or whatever else. I might say, well, what else do people want with their coffee? Let's see, they want the donuts, or maybe I start a bakery where we can make all kinds of baked goods, right? Or maybe I start a bookstore so that people can read books while they're drinking their coffee. So then I go, when I'm looking to fill out all 3 C's, check the boxes of all 3 C's for building an economy, capital, contractors, and customers, I can go to the family and say, you got 10,000 customers every month that come through and buy coffee. I'd like to start a bookstore in the coffee shop so that all the people that come in to buy coffee will be offered one of my books. Right. And then boom. And then I figure out where can I get the books? I buy them, wholesale, sell them retail. So I buy the book for 10, I'm selling them for 20, I'm making $10 for every book. Boom, I've got a business. I've got an asset that's generating income for me, right? So ultimately, if you have those 3 C's, capital, contractors, and customers, then you can have an economy in your own family. And it's really, really fun because you get to work with people that you love. You also have this freedom and independence most people don't have. You also find that when you're good at this, when you understand it and you have people in your family that kind of understand the language and how business works, you'll find that it just naturally grows upon itself. And eventually it becomes kind of easy to make more money. I'm not gonna say it's easy, super easy, but it's really not that hard once you do that. That's much easier than the old method. The old method is, we're all out scrambling, begging for jobs, right? We're all out by ourselves, trying to figure it out here in this economic jungle run by these other people where we're all out trying to just get what we can. And as every man, every woman for himself. If I'm doing good, then screw you, you better go find your own job. Like it becomes kind of sad, when you have to live like that. All right, so let me see here. I see a question that says, is your event in Atlanta the same as the Juneteenth Investing Masterclass I'm already in? Yeah, the content is, yes, it is the same content. And the main difference is that a lot of people wanted me to do it live in their city. And so ultimately, the benefit of the live event is that you get a chance to be in the classroom with other students in your own city who are thinking the same way. So you really get, good networking opportunities. Also, there's a book bundle that you get when you sign up for the masterclass that includes 4 of my books, Black American Money 1 and 2, The New Black Power 1 and 2, also a copy of Powernomics. And we give this cool Black Business School portfolio that you use to take notes. And also you get invited to join the investing club that we create out of the seminar, right? So it's kind of a networking effect where you're put in a space where action follows from the conversation. It's not you just teaching, it's about bringing people together. And so in fact, if you are already a student in the masterclass and you want to come to the event in Atlanta, you can actually get a discount. You go to drboyceatlanta.com and use the code Atlanta 2019. That's one word instead of two, Atlanta 2019 at drboyceatlanta.com. You can actually get half off. So since you're already in the masterclass, you can get half off. You just use that code and that'll give you the discount. Okay, so let me see here. Roshana says, do you have any sample club agreements to use as an example when creating your own document? I don't have any, but maybe I can get one. I could probably find one and put one in with your content. So just log in at drboycemasterclass.com and I'll put it in there. I'll put it in there tonight, actually. So let me write that down. Let me see. Okay. But ultimately, the investment club agreement, well, it's an operating agreement, right? But it's a special kind of operating agreement. So I'm sure I should be able to find something. If not, I can also talk to one of our faculty, attorney Nicole Compton. She might have some ideas on how we can put something together, but there should be some stuff out there. So I'll go look around and see what I can find. So Paris says, how do you convince people who are stuck in their ways to invest their hard-earned money when they're reluctant to risk? I mean, if you love them enough to stress yourself out, trying to talk somebody out of their own ignorance in the cage that they've chosen to build for themselves, then God bless you, because that means you really must love that person. I say, what I do with my family is I just kind of let them know, hey, I'm here. if you ever get tired of what you're doing and you're serious about changing, your actions, I'm here, right? But if you're not serious or you're not interested, that's okay too, because I don't like preaching to people that don't want to be preached to. That's not fun. It makes them mad at you and they're stressed out and frustrated, and you're frustrated because they're not listening to you. And it also impedes your ability to move forward. I tend to enjoy moving forward with people that are ready. If you're not ready, it's okay. I just let you, maybe we'll go out and we'll be successful. Maybe later on you'll be ready. Maybe you have to go through something before you're ready. I've had a lot of people that thought that I was, annoying and preachy and everything else. And something had to happen before they would call me and say, okay, I think I want to change. I think I want to do something different. And one of my friends, for example, she's known me for a long time. We've been very good friends, and she's a very nice lady. And, but, she just kind of didn't, she listened to the stuff I was saying, but it wasn't like something she really wanted to do. It was like how I was, like when it came to losing weight. Like I knew what I needed to do. I just didn't feel like doing it, so don't, leave me alone. Leave me and my cheeseburger alone, because I ain't trying to do the health food thing. And so but she came to me and she told me that the thing that led her to listen to me a little bit more on certain topics was, she said, it was the death of her mother. When her mother got sick, and her mother was sick for like a year. And so she knew her mother was going to die after, somewhere around the end of that year. And so she wanted to spend as much time with her mother as she possibly could. And the problem was that she has a job that's really strict. Like they really don't let you take days off that easily. And so they would just tell her, like, look, we know your mother's dying and we feel bad for you, but you got to come to work or you're going to lose your job. So she had to leave her mother's bedside as she's dying to go to work. And that's just a horrible feeling. Her mother's gone now. She can't get another mother. You can get another job, but she can't get another mama. And that's what led her to say, I think I want to change some things. I don't want to live like this anymore. So you kind of have to, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you change. Change must come from inside. Change does not usually come from somebody forcing you to change. It has to come from inside. So for me, I changed my eating habits and my exercise habits and lost weight because I hit rock bottom. I went to go get life insurance, because you guys know I believe in having lots of life insurance. And so as you get older and you get more well known or whatever, you're worried about somebody running up and trying to kill you or something. So I was like, okay, let me upgrade my life insurance. And I went to upgrade my life insurance, and it was actually in Atlanta, the city I'm going to the weekend of August 23rd. And And I had the lady come to my apartment, it was an Airbnb, to give me a physical for the insurance, because I was a lot of insurance. So it was, they check your health, make sure you ain't dying or whatever. And she took my blood pressure. It was a nice black lady. And she said, let me take your blood pressure again. Why don't you relax and let me try again? And I could tell she was worried, and I didn't know why, And so she took it again, and she said, your blood pressure is too high. Like, you can't get this policy. Most likely you probably need to go see your doctor about it. And I didn't get the policy. I couldn't get the policy because my pressure was too high, and it was very, very high, to the point where when I would tell them what the numbers were, people would be like, whoa, are you serious? And then, so for me, it was kind of like, I had to ask myself, I was like, okay, so I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place. Like, it's either change or die, right? And I was like, I think I'm going to change now, right? It had to get that bad and that real for me to, do what I needed to do to make an adjustment, right? So some people just need to go through something. And the thing was, once I decided I wanted to make the change, it was easy. Like, you didn't have to talk me into it. But what I did need, which does help me, and this is something that may help you in terms of you growing as a person and getting other people to grow, is I needed a partner. I needed an accountability partner that was going to push me to keep promises I make to myself. Habits die hard. Most of us are slaves to our habits. I don't care who you are. I know I am. And so what I had to do to change my habits was I had to surrender and stop trying to do it by myself. I had to accept the fact that this was something I could not do on my own. So I gave Alicia permission to nag me. I said, look, I need you to nag me. I need you to kick my butt, pull me out of bed, throw water on me, whatever you got to do to get me out of bed, because I know Boyce. I've known Boyce his whole life. And Boyce, tomorrow, when it's time to get up at 5 a.m. to go running in 10-degree weather, he's not going to want to go. But I need you to make sure, promise me that you're going to make him do it. And that's what she did. And so that's where the change came from. And literally, just like clockwork, I wouldn't want to do it, and she made me do it. And I'm glad she did, because now I lost all the weight, and I'm in much better health. And I got that life insurance policy, a few months later. So that's my story about change. Don't try to change the people around you. Sometimes you just got to change the people around you, and then everybody else, maybe when they see you succeeding and they see you making money, they're gonna want to do the same thing. There was a mother whose child was in our business school for children. It's at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. And one thing in the story she told was really interesting. She said she told her 3 kids, if you go through the program and get your certificate, I'll give you $1,000 to invest. And she thought that would motivate at least one of them to do it. And she had 4 kids. Actually, 3 of them didn't want to do it. The 16-year-old was busy doing 16-year-old stuff. The other ones were like, yeah, sure, okay, let me think about it. But then there was one, the 11-year-old. The 11-year-old was like, yeah, Mom, I want to do it. So the 11-year-old went through the program, got the certificate, and she gave the 11-year-old $1,000. So somehow the 11-year-old goes, and based on what we taught her, she goes and she buys some stocks. And somehow within a year and a half or 2 years, the $1,000 turned into like $8,300. So she's 12 years old now, 12 and a half. This 12-year-old kid has $8,300 in the bank account, and her siblings are broke. Her older sister is 16, and she has nothing. And she's like, how did this little runt get $8,000? And that made the older sister put her phone down and say, how do I do that too? I want to try, right? And so sometimes you may not have to talk with your mouth, talk with your actions. Go out and be successful. And I guarantee you, if you go out and you succeed, people see you, celebrating the fact you got the keys to your new duplex, or they see that you're at home going to the movies on a Tuesday afternoon when everybody else is going to work, they're going to start asking you like, well, how do I do what you do? And that's when you have the power, because they're coming to you now. Then don't let them just come to you to borrow money. That's another thing that's going to happen. They're going to come to you like, I can't pay the rent. It's too hard. I can't pay the bills. Can you spare $500? No. If you want some of my money, you better listen to me. You're going to listen to me. I'll teach you how to fish, but I'm not going to keep on giving you fish, because I'm not running a welfare office. So don't open up a welfare office. Open up an educational center for anybody that wants to listen. And don't hesitate to use your wealth as your power. Again, when people come to me and ask me for money, I say, okay, now I'm in the driver's seat. You want this money? Then you need to sit down and listen to me. Oh, you don't want to listen? Okay, well, guess what? I got something else I'm gonna do with my money right now. So when you're ready, we can talk about this money, but we're gonna talk because we're not gonna have the movie Groundhog Day where we're repeating the same conversation over and over and over again because you refuse to change your habits. You want all the power and all the freedom, but you don't want none of the responsibility for how your financially chaotic life is constantly, spitting in your face. And you want me to come save you. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, that's it. I hope I answered that question. I know I said a lot, but that's what I believe, and I think that's important to understand. Hey, Alice Monnier, is that Allison Monnier? Oh my God, I remember Alice. Allison is a lawyer, I believe, and she lived in Georgia last time I talked to her. Allison, you guys send me a message in my Facebook. I want to know how you're doing. All right, so I'm about to go, guys. It was great talking to you. If you want to go join us in Atlanta, if you live in Atlanta or you want to fly to Atlanta, you can go to drboyceatlanta.com. That's drboyceatlanta.com. Use the code Atlanta 2019. The first 40 people can actually get half off. So that's one word, not two. It's one word, Atlanta 2019. Also, the All Black National Conventions, the weekend of September 27th. That's in Houston. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. You're going to love it. First day, we're covering wealth and investing. Second day, we're doing panels on everything from health to relationships to politics to men and women. George Frazier is going to be speaking. No Malenga Mushele Moses, Vicky Dillard, and leadership expert Nicole Price. I'm going to actually do some speaking. Julian Gordon's going to speak. You guys have seen Julian on the channel. He's very, very popular, very, very smart guy. Stanford graduate who's an expert in real estate and wealth. Also, let me see. I talked to D1. I think D1's coming. Sharif Abdul Malik is coming. A lot of people are coming. I can't count up everybody, but it's like a big family gathering. You're gonna love it. It is very, very black and very, very fun. So it's allblacknationalconvention.com. Also, in October, that's when we're gonna go to New York. So if you live in New York, it's going to be drboycenewyork.com, but that page isn't up yet. Just be ready. In about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll set up for New York and get ready to go there. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good day. I'm going to go eat dinner. I think she made me some food. She's the best cook ever, I swear to God. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for listening to me. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.